game.
The Cowboys are trying not to repeat recent history and show critics that last week was not a mirage. While the Super Bowl champion Broncos look to successfully defend their title and remain on top of the football world. And as we all know, the best prophet of the future is the past. And the future is right now at Mile High Stadium in Denver. The home of the Broncos sold out as usual as the Broncos get set to play the Dallas Cowboys. Both won their first games last week. I'm Pat Summerall here with John Madden. And John, this can be one of the noisiest places, one of the best places to play in the NFL, but the noise and the atmosphere. You played here, coached here. How'd you handle it?
Well, it's tough. I mean, it's tough to handle because you can't hear. And when you have the ball on offense, you have a tough time hearing the snap count. Now, first and second down isn't so bad, but when it really gets tough is on third down. And we know the Cowboys have a new coach in Chan Gailey, and one of the things that he put in for Troy Aikman in the offense is a shotgun. And the shotgun, when the quarterback is back there 5 yards, there's no way that they can hear his cadence. So what the Cowboys did this week is they practiced with a silent count, and they also practiced with piped-in noise. Now, having said that, I think the Cowboys don't want to be in long yardage situations too much. I think that if they're going to win this game, the one thing they can do is you can run against this Bronco defense, and they have to give a heavy dose of successful Emmitt Smith.
Denver, of course, the defending world champions. They look very solid. They look like a good team. What's your impression of the Broncos?
I'll tell you, they're amazing. I mean, I watched John Elway, and he's 38 years old, and the way he moves around, the way he looked last week, he looked like he was 28 years old. And I remember a year ago when John Elway said, this isn't my team anymore. This is Terrell Davis's team. But on Monday night against the New England Patriots, it was John Elway's team. I mean, he was throwing that rock all over the place. He was in shotgun. He was running. He was doing all these things. Today, I think it's going to get back to being Terrell Davis's team, and I think we're going to see the Denver Broncos really go in a big way for the run.
Well, the Dallas Cowboys are Chan Gailey's team. He's, of course, the new head coach, and he's with Pam Oliver right now. Let's go down to Pam.
All right, thanks, Pat. And Chan, Leon Ledge, he's been a question mark. He came out, worked out for you earlier. What is his status?
He'll play. He's not going to start, but he will play, and we hope he'll get maybe a third of the snaps in today.
Noise is obviously a factor at this stadium. You've worked on some things this week. John has talked about the silent snap count. How exactly will that work?
Well, Troy will give a hand signal to Clay Shiver, and Clay will go on a preset determined snap count after his head comes up.
All right, thanks a lot, Chan. Appreciate it. Let's go back upstairs to Pat.
All right, Pam, thank you. Coming up, it's the Dallas Cowboys and the Denver Broncos from Mile High Stadium. John and Pam and I will be back for the opening kickoff when Fox NFL Sunday continues after these messages from your local station.
To the following presentation of the National Football League.
Back at Mile High Stadium, the Cowboys won the toss. They'll receive. Jason Elam will kick off for Denver. Kevin Mathis and Jeff Ogden back deep for Dallas. Number 23 is the man they like to do the running.
Yeah, we talked earlier about the noise here. The other factor is the altitude.
Yep.
You know, they tell you Mile High Stadium. In the locker room, they had a sign that said 5,280 feet. They always remind you of that.
Maybe psychological, but they don't let you forget it. That's Mathis. Out of the pack is Kevin Mathis to the 35, and let's have a look at the Dallas offense. Led, as it has been in recent years, by number 8, Troy Aikman. 62.1 completion percentage. Larry Allen, Nate Newton, Clay Shivers, the center, Everett McIver, and Eric Williams to his right. Emmitt Smith, Darrell Johnston, Billy Davis, Michael Irvin, and LaFleur. Johnston in front of Emmitt Smith. Aikman outside Irvin. And Michael Irvin past the 40 to the 42. Let's look at the Denver defense. Not that big, but very quick. The 4 up front: Tanuvasa, Price, Traylor, and Smith. The 3 linebackers: Mobley, Kadrez, and Romanowski. Darian Gordon, Ray Crockett, the corners, Steve Atwater, and the rookie Eric Brown, the two safeties. 7-yard gain, 2nd and 3. Flozell Adams comes in as a tight end.
The Broncos are really ganging up on their run. They have 9 men in the line of scrimmage.
Emmitt Smith hammers close to first down yardage to about the 45.
Yeah, that was one of the things Chan Gailey was talking about last night. Watch this. They only have here's a defensive back, here's a defensive back. So they have 9 guys right up here at or around the line of scrimmage to stop this guy, Emmitt Smith.
Ray Crockett is the Broncos down on his back. In his 10th season from Baylor, he lives in the Dallas area. And he was just dinged by Emmitt Smith. The Mile High City, that's Ray Crockett, who appeared to be hitting the ribs by Emmitt Smith. Here it comes right here.
Yeah, you can see Crockett right here. And watch as he hits Emmitt. It looks like the right side is where he took that blow.
1st and 10, 2 tight ends for Dallas. Aikman back to throw it. Trying to get a screen going, and nothing was there. Neil Smith read it perfectly, and Aikman did the right thing.
I'll tell you, had that been a pattern to Michael Irvin, Michael Irvin would have been wide open. You know, one of the things that Chan Gailey, or one of the guys that Chan Gailey was worried about in this Bronco defense is a free safety, Steve Atwater. And you talk about the front 4 and you talk about the linebackers, but the guy he worries about is Atwater because he's right here. See how close he is to the line of scrimmage? He's a free safety, but you also have to get him blocked.
He's a big guy. Aikman, protection adequate. Michael Irvin, the intended receiver, looked as if the ball was there, but somebody might have got a hand in it.
Well, that was Darius Johnson. Darius Johnson is the guy that just came in from Ray Crockett. And watch the play that he makes on Michael Irvin. Irvin is coming up here, and he's going to stop and run a hook. Darius Johnson gets back, and watch him just get that right hand in there and knock that ball out.
Crockett is back now.
Well, Darius Johnson did his job.
Yep, he sure did. 3rd and 10. Timeout Denver. Darius, so they'll have 2 left. Excuse me.
I was just going to say, Pat, Darius Johnson stays in because he's a backup corner, but he is also the nickel back, so he's in now a nickel.
0-0 first quarter. Denver timeout. The reason Denver took that timeout, they only had 10 men on defense.
See, this is the thing we were talking about, Pat. This is the first shotgun here on the road for the Cowboys, and you're going to see their silent count in work here.
Broncos showing blitz. Did they take too much time?
And, you know, and that's the thing. That's what this crowd does to you.
Yep.
You know, they'll get you. It's not as tough on 1st and 2nd.
Ball start. 79 offense. A 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Eric Williams.
It's really tough on that offensive line generally, but specifically the tackles. And that time they got Eric Williams. Because of the silent count, these guys have to look in at the ball and see the ball snap. So anything that they see flash, you see Clay Shiver brought his head up. He saw a little defensive move, and Eric Williams moved too early.
3rd and 15. The Broncos again showing blitz as Bjornsson moves into the backfield. And Aikman has the ball batted backwards. The blitz did its work. Atwater.
You're going to see the pressure. Here's Atwater here, and he's just coming free to the side that Troy Aikman is trying to throw to. So Aikman looks at that side. Here comes number 27 free, and you can't throw it through him.
So Toby Goen will punt for the Cowboys. Darian Gordon back deep, and he is dangerous. Goen averaged over 49 yards a kick last week, and this is a pretty good one right here. Gordon at the 15, and that's where he's down at the 16. The coverage is good. So Denver and Elway will take over at their own 16-yard line. No score. Denver 1st and 10 at their own 16. Hervin McCormick instead of Leon Wett. Yeah, the Dallas defensive setup. Leon over on the sideline. He looked fairly loose and in good spirits in warm-up, but Hervin McCormick starts in his place. Elway. Davis. And let's have a look at the Denver offense. Smallish, as is the defense, but very quick. And John Elway, ageless. In front of him, Jones, Slareth, Nayland, Neal, and Harry Swain. Davis, Griffith, the two backs, Rod Smith and Ed McCaffrey, and Shannon Sharp, one of the better tight ends in football. 2nd and 6. Davis again. Couple yards short. Let's look at the Dallas defense. And it does appear that Denver says, hey, we couldn't run it last week. We're going to run it this week. Pittman, Hervin McCormick, Chad Hennings, and Greg Ellis, their #1 pick. Coakley, Strickland, and Godfrey, the 3 linebackers. In the secondary has Sanders and Kevin Smith. The corners, Stoutmeyer and Woodson. The 2 safeties, both good tacklers. 4 wide receivers for Denver, 3rd and 2.
See now how quiet it is when Denver's in the shotgun?
Yep. Davis. I beg your pardon, Rod Smith.
That's a combination there. John Elway to Rod Smith. Rod Smith was in the slot on the left-hand side, and he didn't get a bump. And you just watch him right here. He's in the slot, and he's just going to take off and come right into this area here. You see him standing up there. He makes a little move, doesn't get a bump. He's free right there. John Elway, because he's in the shotgun, has been in the shotgun all his life, can see the whole field, can see every move that's being made.
18-yard gain, 1st down, Denver. Elway again in the shotgun. 4 wide receivers. Dallas blitz is picked up by the Broncos and Elway, and he gets it to Shannon Sharp.
You know, talking to John Elway about the shotgun, the thing that he likes about it is you have so many good receivers like a Shannon Sharp, but even if you get a blitz like this, you can see it coming and get the ball away before the guy gets here. Because that time when Randall Godfrey came, Pat, he wasn't even blocked, but he knew that Shannon Sharp would be open quickly.
2nd and 3.
He's in the shotgun again.
Deep. No running backs, just Elway. Wide open is Shannon Sharp. Brian McChamberlain, the backup tight end. Welcome to those of you watching Minnesota and St. Louis to Mile High Stadium in Denver. It is 0-0 with 10:25 left to play in the 1st quarter, but the Broncos are on the move.
You know, I felt last Monday night when the Broncos played against the New England Patriots that John Elway really put on a clinic. And so far in this game, he's just continuing that clinic from Monday night.
This time, Davis is deep. And Elway gives it to Davis, who's hit right at the line of scrimmage.
It was a good job by Randall Godfrey. He's going to step up and take the lead block. Now watch him. You're going to get the lead block coming in here. Godfrey's going to step right up here and make the play. You see, and he's going to stop the hole right there. He's going to stop it right there. Now there's no hole. There's no place. There's no place for Terrell Davis to cut.
Strickland jammed it from the inside, then Godfrey on the outside. Dallas nothing, Denver nothing. Elway drops. Has time, goes deep, has a man wide open. It's Sterling Sharp. Shannon Sharp.
Tell you, this guy is something back. There's no one in the backfield. He had the whole field spread out. He's back there, and he hit Shannon Sharp for a touchdown. That is perfect. Just watch it here. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No one back here other than John Elway in the shotgun. And look at how quickly he can get back. And right here, he sees Shannon Sharp running free right down the middle. No one bumped him. No one hit him. And John Elway threw a perfect pass. This guy's amazing. He's something.
He is. Woodson was the closest man to Shannon Sharp, but he had no chance. No one bumped him.
I think John Elway can play until he's 48.
If he so chooses. Elam's extra point is good at 7-0 Denver. 7-0 The Broncos with 9:23 left.
NFL Sunday is brought to you by Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper, this is the taste. By Volkswagen. On the road of life, there are passengers and there are drivers. By Intel, makers of the amazing Pentium 2 processor. And by Gillette Mach 3, the first triple blade razor.
Denver 7, Dallas nothing. Elam's kickoff. Sails deep to Kevin Mathis. Run it out of the end zone. To the 30.
Let's watch that touchdown again. You see how when you have 5 receivers, how you spread them out. Here's Shannon Sharp. Now they're trying to play too deep here, but they got to get a bump, and you can't just let the guy run that post pattern. Let's just take a closer look at it. Here's Shannon Sharp here. Now watch him on the post pattern. You see, coming off the line of scrimmage, he's not bumped, and he runs right by Darren Woodson there. Woodson has to have a little help by getting a bump up in front, and Elway again makes a perfect pass to Shannon Sharp.
7 plays, 84 yards. 38-yard touchdown pass from Elway to Sharp. Here's Aikman. Hit just as he let it go and through the hand. Right now for an NFL update, let's return to James Brown at the Fox Network Center in Los Angeles.
Pat and John, you saw the score, that wild seesaw affair in St. Louis. Rams had a chance to tie it on this game-ending play here, but Tony Banks, 4 Vikings converged on him, stopped him at the half-inch line. Minnesota holds on for the victory by 7. Back to Pat Summerall and John Madden.
Back at Mile High Stadium, where Denver leads Dallas 7-0. Second time Dallas has had the ball. Emmitt Smith. And Emmitt rambling into Denver territory. Finally hit down by Neil Smith.
He got a good block from Everett McIver, his new right guard, that really sprung him. We watch here, we'll see McIver's a right guard. He's going to pull and make a block right here that lets Emmitt Smith get that corner. But you see McIver right here, right there. He gets the thing, see, and then that shields it off, and now Emmitt Smith can get around to the outside.
2 tight ends set up, 1st and 10 Dallas. Pitch again back to Emmitt Smith. Larry Allen in front of him. And Emmitt got about 3 before Darian Gordon came up to make the stop.
Did you see what Steve Atwater did? Steve Atwater's been around this league for a long time, and he sees Larry Allen pulling. Now, Larry Allen, to me, is the best offensive lineman in football. He's also the strongest. He bench presses 600 pounds. But watch Atwater here. He sees Allen. He's not going to have any of that. The way you take on a big guy is at his lowest point. You get as close to his ankles as you can. That's what Steve Atwater did.
2nd and 8. Bjornsson moves in motion. Aikman back to throw it. Incomplete. Intended for Billy Davis or Michael Irvin. Michael Irvin.
And now here's the interesting situation. Again, we saw the first time the Cowboys had the ball. Now they're going to go into shotgun. It's 3rd down. There's Shan Gailey making the call. And this is where, watch this crowd the minute the Cowboys get up to the line of scrimmage.
And it's a big sellout crowd, very enthusiastic.
And that's why they have to go in a silent count.
2 tight end setup.
Clay Shiver will look between his legs to get the signal, then put his head up, then snap the ball.
Irvin went in motion up the middle, pass complete to Billy Davis. 1st down Cowboys.
Now you can see that it does help, and that was the thing. Even John Elway told us yesterday. He said, you know, Troy Aikman is going to like this, because no matter what they give you, 1, you get a better chance to see it, and 2, you get a little more time to do something about it, and that's exactly what Troy Aikman did on that play to Billy Davis.
You see so much more, so much quicker.
And for all those years, the Cowboys hadn't run the shotgun. And if you remember back to the Cowboys in the shotgun with Roger Staubach.
Right. They didn't have to. That's Darrell Johnston hit right at the line of scrimmage. He got nothing.
Last night, Shan Gailey was telling us that Darrell Johnston's job is to be a 70% blocker, 20% pass receiver, and 10% running.
If that's true, that's going to be his only run today.
Yeah, he's not going to get a lot. Although at the end he said he may see a little more running in this game than usual, but I don't know exactly why.
He has really made a remarkable recovery from a very serious neck injury, and you can see no effects from that. Here's Aikman. Deep. Open and touchdown to Ernie Mills. Perfect strike from Aikman to Mills.
That was the thing, and Ernie Mills was wide open all the way. And you're going to see that's a zone coverage. And again, the same thing happened. They don't get a bump early. Here's Ernie Mills here. We're going to get up. He's going to get by the front guy. See, because Darian Gordon doesn't get a bump there. He lets Mills run right by him, and then the safety can't get over. Eric Brown is a rookie safety. With a bump, he may have a chance to get over. Without a bump, Eric Brown had no chance to get over there to Ernie Mills in the end zone.
Bjornsson will hold for Richie Cunningham to try to tie it.
We're seeing two pretty good quarterbacks here so far, aren't we?
I'll say. Cunningham's extra point's good. It's 7-7. We're still in the first quarter. 70-yard drive by the Cowboys. Ties it up.
Darian Gordon doesn't get a bump. Eric Brown doesn't get over. And here goes Ernie Mills right up the sideline. You see, there's no bump there in that cover two. And you see Brown is held by the inside guy. But this is what makes it possible. These guys right here in the protection. The Broncos are coming up with a stunt. Boom, 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 boom. They pick up all four of them and let Troy Aikman step up and throw that ball to Ernie Mills.
Toby going to get off. Devon Hebron bounces over his head. Will go out of the end zone. Tomorrow on Milestone Monday. Right now 7-7. The Broncos and the Cowboys. McCaffrey comes left.
Here's Deion Sanders over on the other side, Pat. He usually stays on the right side, but they're playing a matchup today
with Rod Smith. Elway, time, chase, throws it away.
And maybe that's why. I don't know that the Broncos really expected that, because over the years, you haven't seen Deion Sanders line up on the left side. Here, he's going to go over and he's going to take Rod Smith. He has a man-for-man. Right there, Rod Smith did have a step on him, but John Elway didn't get it to him. John Elway wasn't ready to throw the ball when Rod Smith was open.
He was being chased by Kavika Pittman.
That's a pretty good matchup, though. Rod Smith, now, he started over here to this side, saw Deion Sanders here, and Rod Smith went over to the other side. It's a little easier on Kevin Smith. Now he's coming back in motion.
His tight end, now Deion has him again. Davis dragged out of bounds by Kevin Smith. Picked up 5 or 6.
You know, over the years, the rules have been against Deion Sanders is you don't throw too much at him. In fact, John Elway was saying that Deion Sanders gives you a smaller window to throw in than any other corner. But if you're going to take any advantage of him, you do it by running at him and make him the force and support guy like the Broncos just did on that play.
Elway says if I throw it at Deion, it's either going to be my guy or no guy. I'm going to throw it where he can't get to it.
And you're not going to make a living throwing at Deion.
Elway back. Shannon Sharp, first down Denver.
You kind of knew that had to be a pass because they weren't in the shotgun, but Terrell Davis was in the backfield, and then he went in motion. Now, once he went in motion, they had no one else behind John Elway. So if it was going to be a run, the only guy that could run that ball would have been John Elway, right? See, because you see, here's Terrell Davis out here, and he goes in motion. So now there's no one behind John Elway. So the defense, and everyone knows, it has to be a pass. But now you have to do something about it.
Well, Shannon Sharp knows where to go and how to get open. Smith goes in motion, and Sanders goes with it. Here's Elway. Davis. 15-10, touchdown. Terrell Davis. 63 yards.
Terrell Davis is the reason the Broncos are the Broncos, and the reason the Broncos. He gets a step, he can run away from everyone.
He can cut it back just as he just did. 6 consecutive games with a rushing touchdown.
You talk about things that excite these fans. Listen to them. They're still excited over Terrell Davis. You've got to be able to run in this league and stop the run.
Extra point good. Watch him cut it back again.
Well, here he is right here. He's the only guy in the backfield who's going to start in here and then get to the outside. So he starts here. It's a counter. He starts to the right, and then he's going to go all the way back to outside left and then outrun everyone. That is something. That play was supposed to go to the right, and he took it down. A lot of times you will go to the right and then cut back to the left, but not all the way to the outside. There's Dexter Coakley trying to catch him. There's no way that's going to happen.
I don't see anybody gaining on him.
No. I think anytime a running back, sees it open, the only thing you see between you and the goal line is grass. I think they're all hard to catch. And I think it was because of that guy, Terrell Davis. And that second half of that Super Bowl against the Green Bay Packers, after he had those migraine headaches, that was one of the great efforts that I've ever seen in football.
He never ran out of gas, did he?
No, he didn't. He, and he had to take medication. Remember, he had the migraines, and then he came back, and they gave a big dose of Terrell Davis that second half, and the Packers just couldn't stop him.
Taking on a little gas now.
He's something special.
Mathis out of the end zone, 5 yards deep. He's had 2 good returns. That one not quite so good. Brown makes the stop. Next week on Fox NFL Sunday, Brett Favre and the Green Bay Packers head to Cincinnati, where Neil O'Donnell and the Bengals look to slow down the Pack, plus other regional action. Coverage begins at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, with the pregame show right here on Fox. Check your local listings. First down, Cowboys from the 16. Broncos leading 14-7. 4:24 left in the first quarter.
There's been a lot of offense in this first quarter, huh?
First quarter. Here's Emmitt Smith. Up to the 20.
You look at Emmitt Smith now, and I think that, somewhere along the way, I felt a year ago that he had lost a step somewhere. And I think that last year, Terrell Davis is what Emmitt Smith used to be when the Cowboys were winning their championships. And I know that Emmitt Smith still has a great deal of pride, and I still think he has a lot of football in him. But to see the other guy do that is going to put a little extra adrenaline in him.
Might inspire him a little bit. He's the deep back by himself. Here's Aikman. Nate Newton in front of him. Aikman deep. Billy Davis. It's incomplete. Ray Crockett. And right now, for an NFL update, let's return to James Brown at the Fox Network Center in Los Angeles.
And John, first touchdown of the game, Arizona-Seattle. It's Seattle's Willie Williams picking off Jake the Snake. Take a look at Williams as he heads to pay dirt. He goes up and over and over. Touchdown indeed, 28 yards, 10-0 Seattle over Arizona. Back to Pat and John.
Now watch Troy Aikman right here. After he throws the ball, he's going to take a shot right there from Neil Smith. Neil Smith could have really given him a shot, but with all due respect to Troy Aikman and to Neil Smith did pull off.
This is a Dallas timeout caused by the crowd, the noise. They couldn't get us straight.
And that's the situation that we were talking about. It's kind of bad on first down, and it's kind of bad on second down, and it's terrible on third down. And I think even especially when you're trying to use a shotgun. I remember years ago when Bill Walsh was coaching the 49ers, he put in the shotgun for the first time, liked it at home, went on the road, played in Detroit. They couldn't hear. He never used the shotgun again. And then after that, Mike Holmgren never used a shotgun. None of his disciples, of course, other than Mike Shanahan, who had used the shotgun with Elway when he was here as an assistant coach with the Denver Broncos. You know, Shanahan and Chan Gailey were both assistant coaches here under Dan Reeves at the same time.
At the same time, yeah.
So they do know each other.
Aikman comes up, notifies the offensive line. Now they go 5 receivers as Emmitt Smith goes out. Broncos showing blitz. Pass goes up in the air, batted away by, was intended for Ernie Mills. The Broncos had it well covered.
That's one of the things that the Cowboys are doing today. They're using Emmitt Smith as the 5th wide receiver. You see here, Emmitt Smith is on this side. They have 4 wide receivers on that side, and then 1 on the other side. Here's Michael Irvin all by himself on the other side. So that's the empty backfield, or 5 receivers, with Emmitt Smith being one of the receivers.
Toby going back to punt. Gordon deep. It's a good pick. Oh, man. Gordon retreats to about the 23. He had 2 for touchdowns in 1 game last year. This is a good return. Knocked out of bounds at the Bronco 41 by Robert Thomas. Broncos 14, almost 15 yards per play.
Well, they had the big plays. They had the big touchdown pass to Shannon Sharp, and then of course they had that big run by Terrell Davis. That will give you average per play. You know, the interesting thing that we have is 2 corners here, one on either side, that both play corner and are both punt returners. Darian Gordon said he's a better punt returner than Deion Sanders. He just returned one there, and he said, and I have the stats to prove it, and he does.
They both wear number 21. Here's Davis. And again he breaks out of the pass. He's gone. Forget it. Denver 20. 2 for Terrell Davis. Hennings is down.
Bill, he showed you how he can take the ball inside and run outside, or he can take it outside and cut it back to the inside. That's exactly what he did. I mean, he cut right back and run by. It was poor tackling. There was no one there, but a great explosion by Terrell Davis.
Hennings got cut down by a double team, and he's still down.
Just watch, here he is right there. There's Chad Hennings here, and you see the double team they start to chop. You see he's going to get chopped by Neal right there, and that's the thing that allows the cutback. That's where the cutback was, where Chad Hennings went down or was chopped. And again, we saw Terrell Davis take the ball inside, bounce it outside for a touchdown, then take it outside and cut it back to the inside for a touchdown.
Watch him take a little look backwards as he gets through.
I mean, you know, any great running back has great vision, and you can just see right here how he looks to the right, then he looks to the left to see if there's anything there. When he doesn't see where he's going to be in danger of getting hit there, then he just looks straight ahead, and the next thing he's going to meet the goal line.
He has 6 carries, 138 yards. That's a pretty good day.
Well, you know, we knew, and even Chan Gailey said that, you know, he didn't run much on Monday night. He said, but Denver's not going to go 2 games in a row without Terrell Davis having a big game.
This is his 7th 100-yard half. Here's Hennings getting up and being helped to the sideline.
Yeah, and that was a play that is a legal chop block as long as he's not engaged. Now, if Hennings were engaged with the guard, then the other guy chopped him. That would be illegal. If it's just a chop block, they can cut in that area. Why they can and only in there, I have no idea, but they can do it.
It appeared that he was engaged when he was cut.
Yeah, well, if he were engaged when he was cut, then that's illegal. That should have been a penalty.
Davis getting more oxygen as Elam prepares to kick the extra point. Which is good. It's 21-7. We're not through with the first quarter yet.
Yeah, this is either real great offense or poor defense, because we have really seen some explosion here. See, they're working on Chad Hennings' knee. Again, he was chopped. Now, Chad Hennings is right in here, and we're going to see if he's engaged here. If the center is engaged with him here, he cannot be chopped. If he is off him, then he can be chopped.
Well, he's engaged.
Yeah, but I don't know that he was. Yeah, I guess he was. But that's what the rule is, that you can't, be engaged and then come down and chop on him. And he was engaged, and then Dan Neal did come down there and chop on him, and that's how he got that left knee. But it also created a pretty good hole in there for Terrell Davis to run in.
So it's 21-7 as the Broncos Elam prepares to kick off. It's going to be Mathis again. And Kevin Mathis, struggling, gets out to about the 27-yard line. Disappeared a couple of times and then bounced back into daylight.
For the Broncos, Derek Lavelle was down there, and Derek Lavelle hit him, and that's what made him disappear one time. Look at it. Terrell Davis is running here, 137 yards to the left. That's when he bounced outside. Only one time for a yard in the middle, and he hasn't run to the right side. So where he's made all his yardage so far is the left side of that Bronco offense, or the right side of that Cowboy defense.
So it's first down, Dallas. Aikman up under center. Emmett Smith the lone setback. And Emmett gets the carry. Out to about the 32.
Dexter Coakley still probably wondering about how in the heck Terrell Davis made that run against him, where he started inside to the right and then bounced it all the way outside to the left. And he's probably asking, was that a run to the left, or did he start inside?
Second and 7. Emmett Smith again. Hit down by John Mobley.
The Broncos do an interesting thing with their defensive ends. If there's no tight end on their side, they let them stand up. And then their feet are closer to the line of scrimmage. Plus, if they're going to be in a zone blitz and drop off, they can. And that's exactly what Neil Smith did last time. Watch Neil Smith. He's a defensive end, but because he's on the weak side, he can stand up. See, he can fake a rush and then drop into coverage, even though that was a run.
Yep.
But see, here's Neil Smith now. He's getting down in a three-point stance.
3rd and 6. Aikman in the shotgun. Just to get it off. Aikman. Open is Bjornsson. Here's Bjornsson. Sprints into Denver territory, down to the Denver 37-yard line before he's tracked down by Mobley again.
Hey, Bjornsson is wide open on that play, but Troy Aikman did take a shot. Here you watch Bjornsson there. There's no one covering him. Now they run off the outside guy. And the closest guy to him is John Mobley, who as a linebacker has great speed. Watch the pressure here, Pat, on Troy Aikman, how he just gets that ball off as he's hit by Bill Romanowski.
Right.
Seems like every time Troy Aikman has thrown a pass today, other than that one touchdown pass, he's ended up on the ground.
He's just gotten it off. Clock running, less than a minute left in the first quarter. 21-7 Denver. Sherman Williams has replaced Emmett Smith, and this is Sherman Williams. Still running. To the 14-yard line. Tanabasu knocked him out of bounds.
And this is one thing we said that you can do. Here's Sherman Williams right here. The one thing you can do against this Bronco defense is you can run the ball. They get a lead. They get a guard out in front, a good block, a couple of missed tackles, and Williams gets the ball down there in great field position for the Cowboys.
23-yard gain.
Bruce Johnston throws an air ball there and a couple of missed tackles, but we're either seeing great running or some poor run defense today.
2 tight ends set up. Pass caught by Michael Irvin down to about the 11. The Denver 11. Ray Crockett got him out of bounds.
And that's the thing that Ray Crockett has to do. There's nothing you can do about that short pass, but when they catch you got to tackle them.
That's the end of the first quarter. With the score, Denver 21, Dallas 7. Fox NFL Sunday will continue after these messages and a word from your local Fox station. Start of the second quarter. Chad Hennings looks like he's ready to come back into the game. And here is Emmitt Smith in the game. Emmitt Smith cut down at about the 9 by John Mobley.
You know, John Mobley, I remember, you know, he's from Kutztown, remember, and he was a #1 draft choice. And remember, the first game I saw him play was a preseason game against the 49ers, and I thought he was one of the best linebackers I've ever seen in my life.
I remember that day. He did everything.
Yeah, he was all over the place. He reminds me a lot of a linebacker that used to play here by the name of Tom Jackson, who, when I coached the Raiders, believe me, was our nemesis.
Aikman out of the shotgun. Flag on the play. Aikman looking as if he's going to take off. Fires into the end zone.
I think that was a free play for Aikman, Pat, because I think Neil Smith was offside.
Yep. Flag went down while Aikman started to run.
Now, see, and Troy Aikman knows enough that, you know, that he saw Neil Smith jump, so that's going to be a free play. So you might as well throw it in the end zone, because even if it's intercepted, you're going to get the ball back.
Offside, 90 defense, half the distance to the goal.
Bernie Kukar is the referee.
And you just see him right here. I mean, he jumps before anything else happened. Eric Williams is having a tough enough time with the count and with Neil Smith and with the shotgun and with jumping offside. Now here they bring their rookie in. You see Flozell Adams comes in here. He's going to be right here. He's the rookie #1 draft choice who comes in as a tight end, second tight end.
They need a yard for a first. Back to Emmitt Smith. Got to the goal line. Maybe he's in. Touchdown. Emmitt Smith.
That's not a bad place to run. You get over there behind Larry Allen. Now you take Flozell Adams. He's 6'7", 330 pounds. You put him next to Larry Allen. You get a lead from Moose Johnston and run right at it. Here it is right here. Here's Adams. Here's Larry Allen. Here's Moose Johnston. Now that is a pretty powerful group coming right at you.
That's a package.
They block down. They block down. They pull Nate around. Moose Johnston kicks out, makes a heck of a block on Atwater, and that's the thing that, you know, frees Emmitt Smith to go in the end zone.
Good job by Nate. He took Mobley out of the play. For the extra point, Cunningham. We might see a few points in this game. 21-14. We just begun the second quarter.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Saturn, a different kind of company, a different kind of car. By Visa, the official card of the NFL that's everywhere you want to be. By Castrol Syntec, the active lubricant. And by Gateway. Let's talk about your Gateway.
Mile High Stadium, the Mile High city of Denver. Chad Hennings wrenched his knee. It looked as if he might be ready to return, but now he's headed for the locker room. Toby Goen kicks off. Vaughn Hebron will return it, or down it, about 3 yards deep in the end zone. Emmitt Smith taking on a little oxygen.
I remember once, Pat, we were playing up here in Denver, and the offense came off like that, and I don't know why I did it, but I went over and I got the oxygen thing. I was taking oxygen because
you did?
Yeah, as a coach, you go over and you get a drink, and here in Denver they had oxygen, so I went over and I was taking an oxygen thing. And the offensive team who just scored a touchdown were lined up behind me waiting to get to the oxygen tank.
Well, you were the coach.
No, but they kidded me about that for 5 years, taking their oxygen in Denver.
Here's Elway, chased by Pittman, incomplete.
You know, a lot of times they do that on that bootleg. They allowed a guy to come free, thinking that he's not going to come up the field and contain, that he's going to follow the tackle down. And when he does come up the field, then John Elway has to get rid of it quickly.
That's Artie Smith, who's taken Chad Hennings' place. Chad, you saw, just heading for the locker room. Leon Litz also on the Dallas defensive line now.
making a play, too. I mean, that's one thing that Leon Lett can do. His nickname is Big Cat, and on that one, he looked like a big cat. I mean, he has a bad knee now, but you watch him here. He's just going to come here. You see him hit right here, break, scratch through a double team, and come straight down the line and make that tackle. I mean, that's what you call splitting a double team.
3rd and 6. 4 wide receivers. Willie Green split wide to Elway's right. Out of the shotgun. Good protection. Rod Smith. Finally knocked out of bounds by George Teague, but he was wide open.
Boy, of all the guys on this team that you would say, let's not leave wide open, I would say Rod Smith would be the #1 guy. #2 guy would be Shannon Sharp. Here they get a bump. They're playing zone. The zone can't get over, and Elway is really eating them up in these zone coverages between the short guy and the deep guy, hitting that receiver in that area.
Leon Lett over on the sideline. Here's Davis again, and Davis around the corner. Davis got about 8.
Yeah, he's something special, isn't he? He played it. Remember, he played at Long Beach State for George Allen, and then for an old player of mine, Willie Brown, and then they dropped football, and he ended up going to Georgia. And wasn't a high-round draft pick, and you think, how in the heck can you miss a guy like Terrell Davis?
Well, he was hurt a lot when he was at the University of Georgia, but they produced some great running backs.
Yeah, but I mean, you just think that somewhere someone would have said that this guy's so special that along the way, I mean, he's out of San Diego, Long Beach, Georgia. Maybe he got lost in that thing.
Derek LaVille has taken his place. That's LaVille. Former 49er gets the first down for the Broncos.
Derek LaVelle when he was in high school. He went to Reardon High School in San Francisco. He was with Seattle for a while, then he came and played in his hometown with the 49ers. And then when Mike Shanahan came here to Denver, one of the guys that he wanted was Derek LaVelle. Because he had, of course, he had him with the 49ers when Shanahan was the offensive coordinator with the 49ers.
Cowboys now have Antonio Anderson in that front 4.
Well, they have 8 defensive linemen that they roll in and out of there.
They're going through it pretty quick today. This is LaVelle. And he cuts back. Looked as if he was going to lose yardage, and he gained about 3. Dexter Coakley made the stop.
You know, it's tough. You know, all your run defense starts with your middle. And when your 2 middle guys, Chad Hennings and Leon Lett, are both hurt, it is really tough because all defense starts here. And you can't allow any movement here. Now, if you get some movement here, then you can run inside or you can bounce to the outside. And you see they get that thing blocked, and then they always have a cutback there. Every time the Broncos go to run, they always have a cutback in towards the middle.
Well, you mentioned earlier Leon Lett had a bad knee. So did Antonio Anderson, and that's Anderson down now. They're going to run out of defensive linemen.
Right. And Chan Hennings was the the run stopper, the nose tackle type.
10:54 left before halftime. Here's the ball, 2nd and 7 on the Dallas 23. They lead 21-14. Pat Summerall with John Madden at Mile High Stadium. Davis is deep. Griffith in front of him. Sharp moves. And Elway's back to throw it. Touchdown. Shannon Sharp wide open again, and Elway had it on the money.
John Elway has to love this. He has so many guys, and these are his top receivers that are wide open. He had Rod Smith wide open just a little while ago. Shannon Sharp wide open now. This is a smorgasbord for him. Watch him. He's not in the shotgun now. He goes play pass. That kind of holds the line because everyone's worried about Terrell Davis, but you see the block he made. The play pass holds just enough that Shannon Sharp can get in behind everyone. You know, but that Terrell Davis, I mean, he not only runs with the ball and catches it, but he's a tough guy. He made a heck of a block on that play pass there.
The extra point is good by Elam. Sharp, 4 catches, 78 yards, 2 touchdowns. Davis, 150 yards and 8 carries.
the reason he runs by him is because of the play fake here by Terrell Davis. He fakes and blocks. Stoudemire takes a step up, and Sharp runs right by him. Watch Stoudemire and watch him come up. Here's the motion. Now watch him come up. Go for the play fake. When he goes for the play fake, Shannon Sharp gets in behind him.
Elam to kick it off. Evan Mathis at about the 3. And Mathis across the 30, gets to the 35. Denver moving at will. Look at their first 4 possessions. 7 plays, touchdown. 4 plays, touchdown. 1 play, touchdown.
And I was just going to say, other than this one right here, where they started on their own 41, they really didn't have great field position. I mean, those were pretty good long drives.
Very quick drives, too. Sharp.
Bet you more oxygen is used in a football game in Denver than any other stadium in the country.
Aikman fake to Emmett Smith. He's being pursued. And Aikman runs it out of bounds.
One thing I think that the Cowboys have to do is they have to stay with the run. I mean, they can't abandon that, because watch Nate pull out here, and that's a bootleg, and looked like Troy Aikman was looking for a cross and was well covered, so all he could do was run out of bounds. But as I was saying, the one thing that you can do, and he even could do last year when the Broncos won the championship, you can run against this defense.
2nd and 7. Aikman picked up 3. Up onto the center this time and drops back to throw it. Now he's going to take off again. Leans close to a first down. Yeah, it looks like he might be.
Yeah, I don't think he wants to do too many of those.
No.
He has to remember. He has to remember those concussions. He has to remember that you have to go feet first where they can't hit you. And Troy Aikman cannot lead with his head.
He's been hurried 7 times, hit 4 times, not including that one.
Yeah, I mean, he's such a competitor, and it's easy to say, you know, you've had a problem. You've had a problem with concussions. You can't be leading your head and letting him hit that shoulder and that right arm and those things. But the adrenaline starts flowing. You are a competitor. You see that first down marker, which he was doing, and he was going and diving for that first down marker.
It's his left shoulder.
You know, anytime you go head first, it's either going to be a head or a shoulder. And you watch, you see right there, he goes head first trying to get that first down. And I don't know if he got hit on the shoulder or if he got it when he fell on the shoulder.
I think. Here comes Jason Garrett.
You know, he had taken a lot of hits so far in this first half. I mean, not only that one running, but, you know, after he threw it, it seemed like he was getting knocked down every time. Yeah, I don't know that it's the hit there.
Romanowski didn't hit him. 3rd and short. Jason Garrett's the quarterback. The handoff is to Emmitt Smith. And the Cowboys will get a first down and stopped by Romanowski.
Yeah, they put Flozell Adams in there again at that second tight end over there by Larry Allen. So you have Nate Newton, Larry Allen, and Flozell Adams, and just run right in behind. This guy is going to be a heck of a player, this Flozell Adams.
Everybody who's watched him says, hey, this guy's got a chance to be a superstar and around a long time.
They just have to find the spot. I think the first offensive lineman that goes down, he's going to go in for that guy and maybe stay there a long time.
No doubt about it. Here's Jason Garrett going deep. Got Michael Irvin down close to the 20. It's complete. Eric Brown back there with him and hit him. And Aikman's headed for the locker room for x-rays.
Yeah, remember Jason Garrett in that Thanksgiving Day game when he just threw those deep ones to Alvin Harper just like that? He would just throw it up and Alvin Harper would jump up just like that, just like Michael Irvin did.
Never forget it.
I remember his wife told him that. He said, anytime you get in the game, just throw it as far as you can and let the guy jump and catch it. And that's exactly what he did.
LaFleur moves over to the left side. And Emmitt Smith gets the carry. And Emmitt round the corner. Emmitt Smith out of bounds. Close to the 13-yard line of Denver. Darian Gordon pushed him out. And anybody stop anybody?
Here's the thing to the strong side. That's the thing that you can't get going. Watch Larry Allen. He gets a good kick out right there on Romanowski, and then Emmitt Smith just splits that hole.
First down, the Cowboys at the Denver 13. 7:25 left to play in the first half. Jason Garrett. Pass is caught. Billy Davis. Early word on Troy Aikman as a sprained left shoulder. He's going in for x-rays. You saw him leave a minute ago. Jason Garrett has picked up the slack.
And the one thing good about it, you know, that Jason Garrett has to know and feel comfortable about, like I said before, is you can run on this defense. Even last year, you know, last year they were 30th in the NFL against the run in yards per carry. Other teams average 4.7. So this is something that is there as long as you stay patient with it.
2nd and 4. Sherman Williams gets the carry, and he's caught in the backfield.
I don't know that I like a draw down here. I mean, I think they've had success going to that strong side, getting in there behind Nate Newton, getting in there behind Larry Allen, you know, getting that tight end to make a block. They've had success at that stuff. I don't know that they need that delay or draw type of thing, because Denver plays that better than they just do the thing where you just boom, pull off into them.
Emmitt Smith comes back along with Darrell Johnson. They're at about the 8 now. They lost a yard. Flags fly everywhere. I'm not sure if the Cowboys moved or
see Eric
the Broncos
Williams
jumped.
Eric Williams this time back just gave one hit. Last week he got thrown out of the game in a fight with Eric Swan.
Ball start. 73 offense.
This is going to be against Larry Allen.
Now that was on the other side, but when they jumped, Eric Williams just gave one shot. Here's Larry Allen over here on this side. Yep, you see just that little twitch that he made. Although Eric Williams did give a couple of shots there,
yes,
but then he walked away. He didn't continue it. He not only got kicked out of the game, but I think he also got fined $7,500.
He did. He did. 3 wide receivers this time. Garrett in the shotgun. Jason Garrett down the middle. Ernie Mills hadn't looked back. He wasn't expecting it that soon.
And he probably shouldn't have got it that soon, because even had he completed that pass, it still would have been 4th down, and they would have had to kick a field goal.
Well, you saw Jason Garrett pointing to himself and saying, hey, that's my fault.
Yeah, he knows it. And you see Ernie Mills is coming across here. He's still trying to get depth, and he knows that he didn't have a 1st down.
Richie Cunningham will try from 31 yards out. Make it. Just inside the left upright, but good. And it's 28-17. 2nd quarter. 5:26 left. (28-17). 5:26 left. Like there could be a little rain approaching.
We had some yesterday, didn't we? It was a nice day in the morning, and we came out of the Bronco facility in the afternoon. It was pouring down rain, thunder, lightning. You get it here in Denver.
And it changes in a hurry.
Yeah.
Kickoff by Golan sails deep in the end zone. Tomorrow. Angry-looking crowds.
Yeah, you get them here. Remember coming in here some nights, you would come in on Saturday night, it'd be snowing, be beautiful the next day. And then you come in on Saturday night, it'd be beautiful and it'd be snow the next day.
Smith goes in motion. Elway gives to Davis. Davis bangs for a couple. You hear about the triplets, Irvin and Aikman and Smith for Dallas. Look what the Broncos key players on offense have done.
Yeah, these are quadruples. Elway, 146 yards, 2 touchdowns. Davis, what a day, huh? 153 yards already in the first half, 2 touchdowns. Shannon Sharp, 2 touchdowns. Rod Smith, 56 yards. Those guys are dangerous offensively. And they got a good offensive line, too.
Very quick offensive line. Second down. Here's Davis. This time he's caught behind the line of scrimmage. That's really the first time Dallas been able to penetrate and get him down.
You know, this offensive line of the Denver Broncos that we're talking about, I think is one of the best coach lines in football, too. Alex Gibbs is the offensive line coach. And these guys, you just watch them on film, they really work in unison. I mean, they have a term, they get a hat on a hat. They all get off together. They do all those things, and they're kind of a special group.
The techniques are so good.
What's that center there, Tom Nalen? I mean, he's a good one, and he gets the stuff started in the middle for him.
3rd and 9, here comes the blitz. They, for the most part, pick it up, and the pass is caught by McCaffrey. And McCaffrey sprints down the sideline and gets into Dallas territory to the 45. Give a lot of that to Elway.
I would say that you have to. I mean, if you give him just a little time, I mean, he's going to find a guy. I mean, he knows this pass offense so well and this team so well. He can get back there in the shotgun. And look, he looked to the right. He looked back to the left. He found McCaffrey coming in the middle. I mean, he looked like he was his 3rd guy. You know, and I would have to say right now, if he can get protection and Elway can get the ball off, I don't think that this Cowboys secondary can cover what the Denver Broncos are doing.
They're going to have to make some adjustments if they're going to get it done. Here's Elway. Davis gets a couple.
You know, and I'll tell you one thing about Mike Shanahan. I remember Steve Young telling me this when he was with the 49ers. He said that of all the guys that, you know, he's played for him, in the Walsh and Mike Holmgren and Shanahan, he said that Mike Shanahan was the most aggressive play caller that he'd ever played for anywhere. And I think, I mean, he's a guy that goes after you.
Yeah, he's not going to stop.
And he doesn't stop.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't stop. And he doesn't care what the situation is. Like now, I mean, he has Elway back there all by himself. Everything's spread out. No one in the backfield. He'll do anything.
Elway back with time. Gets the ball to Willie Green. Not quite a first down. About 3 yards short.
See that tackle by Darren Woodson? He said he looked like he had enough of that. And the one place that they are staying away from is Deion Sanders. They haven't thrown one ball there, and John Elway kind of alluded to that yesterday. We talked about, he said, well, you know, I might do it once in a while, but with Deion Sanders is a very small window.
And it's going to be my guy or nobody, not Deion.
And he's had some big windows to throw to other guys.
Has he ever? Here's Davis, and he's got some room, but he won't get it on the flag on the play. He didn't get the first down.
They tried to get Deion to be the force. Yep. You know, we said that they didn't throw on him, but they try and get him in the running game, and that's what they tried to do. They came in motion, and they tried to get Deion in there, and then they tried to run right at him.
This penalty's against Denver. Yes, it is.
77 offense. 10-yard penalty, repeat, 3rd down.
They'll move them back. That takes them well out of field goal range.
But see, here they got Deion Sanders up in the middle. That was how they were going to take advantage of him.
Yep. George Teague up in a hurry.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Miller Lite, to remind you that every Miller Lite is sold ready to drink.
Coming back, sort of gingerly carrying his shoulder.
Now that's not a good sign. That there's a guy in front of him, though, that is carrying his jersey and shoulder pads. I say it's not a good sign that he doesn't have them on.
By the way, there was a penalty. Remember, the Cowboys have turned it down. So it's 4th down. Elway didn't like what he saw, called a timeout. Don't forget, coming up on the Visa halftime report, JB and Terry will have scores and highlights from around the league. And our Fox Sports ticker will have up to the second stats. Also a Fox News update. That's all coming up on the Visa halftime report.
Well, we're just talking about how aggressive Mike Shanahan is going for it on 4th down. Chan Gailey had a interesting thing there that because John Elway's been so hot, and you know they've been throwing the ball so well, he didn't want to take that holding penalty and put him back 10 yards, even though it would have been like a 3rd and 12 or 13. I mean, Elway has had so much success with throwing the ball he said, to heck with that. Let's get 4th down and see what they can do with it here.
Now Aikman's headed for the Cowboys locker room. He went in for x-rays. Now he's headed to the opposite end of the stadium, to the Cowboys locker room on 4th down. Elway up into the pocket, incomplete, and no flags down. There comes one.
Ooh, that was a late flag, and it's going to be on Darren Woodson. Of course, even though that wasn't a 1st down and was incomplete, that'll be an automatic 1st down.
There's a late call. It's against Dallas, an automatic 1st down.
And it's against Darren Woodson. You're going to see the shotgun here, and you're going to see right here Darren Woodson come in here, and he can't hit him before the ball gets there. Excuse me, right there.
28 defense, 1st down.
Chad Hennings and Leon Lett both are in the Dallas defensive unit now. Hennings came back after having a sprained knee, and Lett has knee problems, of course, but he's back in. Leon and Hennings in the middle. 2 tight ends set up for Denver, and Elway back to throw it, and does. And the pass is caught right on the money by Ed McCaffrey. Boy, that's a good throw.
He's had good throws for his first time. I mean, he's just amazing. I mean, the way that he does these things. Here's McCaffrey right here. Again, he's just running right through the defense. No one's getting a bump on anyone. And John Elway is just throwing to his big targets. But Shannon Sharp is a big target. Rod Smith is a big target. And, of course, Ed McCaffrey, who he just threw that ball to, is a 6'5" wide receiver.
The biggest target. 1st down at the 10. Elway back to throw it. Sharp hit about a yard shy of the end zone. Let's quickly go down to Pam Oliver.
All right, Pat, bad news for the Cowboys and Troy Aikman. The Cowboys tell us he has a fractured clavicle. He will be out anywhere from 4 to 8 weeks. Back to you.
Boy, that is bad news for the Cowboys. A fractured clavicle.
Because, you know, Troy Aikman is such a big part of that Dallas Cowboy team. And not only the offense of being the quarterback, but into the heart and soul of that whole team. And you could just see as he walked off there that the heart and soul was sinking.
Elway sneaks. The Broncos signal touchdown, but none of the men in striped shirts have yet. And now they have. It's touchdown. Elway.
Now Elway's something, isn't he, Pat? He's 11 for 13. He's only had 2 incomplete passes. 2 touchdowns, and then he runs one in himself. Like I said, he's 38 years old, but I'll guarantee you he doesn't play like a 38-year-old. Here he is right here, just a quarterback sneak. He's just going to take the ball, go to the right a little, get in behind his right guard, Dan Neal. Watch how he does it. You see, he just takes a step to the right. They expect him on a quarterback sneak to go right up over the center.
The extra point by Elam is good. It's 35-17, 25 seconds. I beg your pardon. 35 points allowed today are the most in team history against Dallas.
But I don't know that they've played a lot of offense like they're playing today against the Denver Broncos. There's a play that Troy Aikman got hurt on. You can see whether it was a hit. Romanowski's there. Romanowski really misses him. I don't think that's where he broke the clavicle. I think the clavicle was probably broken when he hit the ground.
And Marvin Washington landed on top of it.
That has to take a heck of a lot out of the Cowboys. Word like Pam Oliver said, 4 to 8 weeks. That can be devastating for a while. But that's what pros are. I mean, that happens. You got to bounce back. You got to say, okay, Jason Garrett, you're the guy.
And Garrett's backup was just signed last week, Mike Quinn. So Aikman out for that extended length of time. 25 seconds left to play in the first half. Denver 35, Dallas 17.
This Denver offense, entire offense has put on a clinic this first half.
Ball bouncing to LaFleur. Again, a reminder that coming up on the Visa halftime report, JB and Terry have scores highlights from around the league, and there are a lot of them. Fox Sports ticker will have up the second stats. Also a Fox News update. That's all coming up on the Visa halftime report.
You talk about halftime highlights. I think they're going to get a heck of a lot of highlights out of this game. The Denver Broncos and Terrell Davis and John Elway and Bob Smith and Shannon Sharp. I mean, that first half was something to behold.
And the Cowboys just run it out. John Elway, who had a spectacular first half, only 2 incompletions, 2 touchdowns to Sharp.
You know, and after they won the Super Bowl, everyone was saying, oh, John Elway ought to retire and ride off into the sunset. And where the heck that came from, I had no idea. He's having way too much fun playing this game.
It's a cloudy day. There is no sunset today. Certainly not for John Elway. 35-17 Broncos. So far is the injury to Cowboy quarterback Troy Aikman. How long it'll be out, nobody knows as yet. Here's the injury. Here's what happened to him. Romanowski missed. And he landed on his left shoulder. Our early information was that he had a broken clavicle, and from the sideline the report was that he'd be out from 4 to 8 weeks. This season on Fox Sports, we're introducing 2 interactive questions. You call it and ask the pros. For those of you on the internet while watching the game, we'd like to ask you to participate by logging on to foxsports.com. This week's You Call It. Which team, the Cowboys or the Broncos, will score the last points in the second half of today's game? Join us on the internet. Log on to foxsports.com. Good luck. And this week on Ask the Pros, the question is from Mike White of Wiley, Texas. For Dallas, is a win against a division opponent last week against Arizona more important than a win against a non-division opponent this week against Denver? Join us on the internet again. And John, which is the most important?
I think that you have to say that the most important game are the games that are in your division, because one thing, you're picking up a game and then you're knocking a team in your division down. I say the next important would be in your conference, and then the third most important would be out of the conference, like the Denver Broncos. So I would say that, you know, beating Arizona or beating the Giants would be bigger than beating the Denver Broncos, and they're having a heck of a time with that today.
And it looks like they're going to continue with that. I'd certainly agree with you that a win in the conference is much more important. All wins, all those that go in that W column are important. But certainly in the division.
And you hate to talk about a loss being okay, but this first half of football by the Denver Broncos offense was amazing.
It's been a clinic.
That was one of the most impressive displays of offensive football that I've ever seen.
It's been a clinic. Cowboys kick off. Von Hebron retreats into the end zone, and he's going to bring this one out. And Hebron's some room. Chased by Cunningham, who made him cut back. A flag on the play. Hebron almost broke it. Richie Cunningham made him cut back to the middle of the field, and help arrived. Holding against Denver. That'll
holding 37
make all
on the
that
return team on the
that
run
effort
back.
by Hebron.
10-yard penalty, first down.
Man, how about the total offense in the first half? The Broncos had 379 yards, the Cowboys 209. That first half there was 588 yards of offense.
Not that much difference in time of possession, but Denver leads 35-17.
You know, here's a big one right here. You know, we said you have to be able to run the ball and to stop the run.
They hand to Davis, and he's cut down from the side after maybe he got a yard by Hervin McCormick. Chad Hennings back in the middle of the Dallas defense.
You know, the other thing, we were talking about John Elway and, you know, winning a Super Bowl last year, and he was saying how, you know, how that just took everything. You know, I mean, the burden, the monkey off his back, whatever that saying is. He said, and now they can never put that on him or his team or his organization again, that they can't win the Super Bowl.
He said he didn't realize how great it was going to feel. Best feeling he ever had. Here he is back to throw it. And gets it to his tight end, Shannon Sharp, for a Denver first down.
And this Bronco offense really is just overmatching the Cowboy defense. They just don't have enough good people in them. I mean, their defensive line is hurt, and they're down there, and they're getting outmanned there. But they're also getting outmanned in the secondary. I mean, the defensive backs aren't getting any help because they're not getting any bumps. And then they spread them out. Like here, 3 wide receivers here, 2 wide receivers here, no one in the backfield. This formation is really killing the Cowboys.
Elway has time, gets it across to Rod Smith, chased down by Deion Sanders. Yesterday we spoke to Denver quarterback John Elway about his feelings on winning Super Bowl number 32.
It was probably a better feeling than I ever imagined, and I think probably because of the pressure that we had on us because we'd never won one before. And to finally have won one and be able to say that we did, and there's no longer, they can no longer say that you couldn't do this, you couldn't do that, you know, it was the greatest feeling of my life.
Set to go is Denver. Set to go is Davis.
This guy's something, isn't it? I mean, he can take it at you and keep it at you. He can take it at you and just bounce off, or he can take it at you and go the other way. And that one there, he just took it at him, kept it at him.
Yeah.
I mean, he got the hole in there behind Dan Neal and Harry Swain, and he's just running right in there. Look at that. He even got Ed McCaffrey as wide receiver, and the Broncos do that. They'll bring their wide receivers in to block linebackers in their running game.
2 tight ends set up. Davis moves over to his left, and Elway has the pass batted down by Kavika Pittman.
Well, the Cowboys overloaded on that side. They brought 4 men to that side, and that was a good call by the defensive coordinator, Dave Campo, because that was the side that Elway was throwing to. And you see the overload that they get here. See, they got 1, 2, 3, 4 rushers coming on that side. And the good news for the Cowboys is that's the side that John Elway was going to try and throw.
Terrell Davis has 165 yards and 14 carries. 15 carries. This time he's hit hard right at the line of scrimmage. Maybe he got a yard to midfield.
You know, you wonder, talking about Dave Campo, the defensive coordinator of the Cowboys, you wonder what you say to your team. What adjustments can you make? I mean, here's Dave Campo right here, and to see Denver Broncos just have their way with your defense, and you know, if you try and bring 8 up against the run, they just spread you out and throw the ball. If you try and get off, I mean, Elway just eats you up. If you rush him, he eats you up.
Chad Hennings just limped out again. Elway in the shotgun.
Cowboys are in a 3-man line.
3-man rush. Elway has time, incomplete. And no flags this time.
Well, that was one of the things Dave Campo decided to do. That he tried all the other combinations. That time he used a combination of rush 3 and cover with 8. And
McCaffrey is something wrong with his arm, it appears.
There's something wrong with those arms, but I'll tell you, he's pretty proud of those arms, isn't he?
Yeah.
For a wide receiver, that's a pretty good set of guns.
That was Elway's first incompletion, by the way, from the shotgun.
Yeah, and before he had that first incompletion, he was 8 for 8 period.
Deion Sanders back deep. This is a rocket shot by Tom Ruin out of the end zone. The Cowboys will take over at their own 20. So 11:16 left in the third quarter, and Denver leads Dallas 35-17. Denver leading Dallas 35-17. Jason Garrett. Bruce Johnston doesn't get back to the line of scrimmage. Romanowski out there with him.
You know, other than that deep pass that Jason Garrett threw to Michael Irvin, he looks like to me that he's been too quick on everything. You know, he's not letting anything develop, and here you see he throws a none-yard pass, and in fact it's a pass completed for a loss. So that means either you're not giving your guys a chance to work down the field, or seeing the guy that is working down the field.
Second and long. Garrett retreats. Screen pass set up pretty well. Emmett Smith is tripped up by Atwater.
But he was fouled up by his own man, Nate Newton. Nate has to get out there in that screen, and someone has to say go, and he has to get going. He was flopping out there, and watch Nate Newton. He's going to pull out here. You're going to get your screen out here, but he has to get out and throw on someone. You see, and he gets out there, and he doesn't know that the screen's ready to go. But see him come down there, see him come down there. And right now, he just stands there. He got to get the heck out of the way and throw on someone. Nate's not as quick as he used to be.
This is Keith Traylor, who's down for the Broncos. Keith Traylor up and walking around, limping a bit. Marvin Washington has taken his place. 3rd down and 4. 3 wide receivers. Irvin goes in motion. Out of the shotgun. Billy Davis had it, lost it, and got it back. And this is called incomplete. Let's go down to Pam Oliver.
All right, thanks a lot, Pat. Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones, you have a brand spanking new offense in, and your trigger man goes down. How devastating is this for the Cowboys?
Well, it's quite a setback. Of course, concern for Troy. He just so disappointed, and you know, he got his injury trying to compete and trying to get the first down. So. Yeah, it's setback, but our team really wants to get out here. Both defense and offense and prove to them that we can compete out here and compete under any circumstances.
Difference between being competitive and being smart.
This is Toby Goen, who ran it out of punt formation and still runs it all the way to the 40-yard line of Denver.
Let me move out.
All right.
Well, out of punt formation, Toby Goen.
Yeah, that's an old Jimmy Johnson thing. He used to call these things momentum changers. That, you know, when you get behind, when everything's going against you, when the score's 35-17, you have to do something. Once Goen gets by that first rusher and he makes a little move in there, he has a heck of a lot of room. Look at him go now. Goen's going. But he knew what to do at the end of it, too. And he knew that rule. If you go head first, they can hit you. If you go feet first, they can't hit you.
A 33-yard scamper by Toby Goen. Somebody threw a heck of a block. Billy Davis, I believe. Watch number 87.
Yeah, here's Billy Davis right here. He has Darian Gordon picked out, and he knocks him sideways.
And Gordon's down, still down.
It was right at the end of the play, though. Goen didn't get any more as a result of that block. Darian Gordon, guy has been a pretty good corner for the Denver Broncos, but a heck of a punt returner.
Gordon being helped to his feet. There's Toby Goen. 1 carry, 33 yards. It's time to laugh, I guess.
Well, I think the thing is as Jerry Jones was just saying to Pam Oliver down there in the sideline when it happened, that you know, you lose your quarterback and everyone's devastated by that. And Troy Aikman was trying to compete when he got hurt, and then the other guys have to go in there and compete, and that's what they're doing. And you know, and then lo and behold, right then Goen makes a play.
First down, Dallas at the Denver 42. Jason Garrett back in.
Yeah, I think Jason Garrett has to settle down here a little and have a little more patience and let some things develop. I will say on his behalf, though, that it's hard when you don't get a lot of reps to come in and feel comfortable. And look what they did. They put Flozell Adams is in here now on first down as a tight end. I bet they're going to run the ball to the left.
You would think so. They go the other way. Emmett Smith cuts back and spins out of one tackler. Finally is brought down about the 38. Picked up 3 or 4.
I think Emmett Smith knew that you can start to the right, but on that back side, you got Nate Newton, you got Larry Allen, and you got Flozell Adams, and that's where he takes it. You see, he's going to start it in here to the right into this side, and then he's going to bounce back and come back to this side. You see how they fire off and they control that line of scrimmage. They make a pretty nice crease on that back side for him.
But that Denver defense, which is so quick, the pursuit makes up for it. 2nd and 7. This is Emmitt Smith again. Emmitt down to about the 35. A little bit short. There's Darian Gordon over on the sideline, the Denver sideline. 8:28 left to play in the third quarter. 35-17. Denver leads Dallas.
Yeah, Darian Gordon was hit by Billy Davis, and it was one of those things where you're a punt returner and you see the punter running and you're going to make the tackle, and he didn't see Billy Davis at all.
Three wide receivers make it 4 as LaFleur's in the slot to the left. And here's Garrett. Gets away from one. I'm not sure what he had in mind.
I think what he had in mind was to try and buy a little time and run out there to the right and do like John Elway does sometimes. You buy out there and buy a little time to get someone open, and he didn't get anyone open. And you see here he has 3 guys on this side, and I don't know, he looked like he was expecting something here and he didn't get anything. Yeah. The receiver that he was trying to throw to out there looked like he became a blocker.
Cunningham's going to try a field goal with Bjornsson holding. Looks like about 54 yards. It got there and is good. Gordon has a bruised right shoulder. He's headed in for x-rays as Dallas tacks on 3. 35-20 the score now. 35-20 at Mile High Stadium. Pat Summerall with John Madden. That field goal by Cunningham ties the Dallas record of 54 yards by Frisch and Willis. Cunningham's longest. Going line drive taken by one of the up men. Dutron Smith. Coverage is adequate. It's Denver's ball at their own 28-yard line. They lead 35-20. Mile High Stadium 35-20. Denver leading. On first down, McCaffrey comes in motion. Elway gives to Terrell Davis. And right now, for an NFL update, let's return to James Brown at the Fox Network Center in Los Angeles.
All right, Pat and John, Danny Cannell looking impressive today. Hooks up with Chris Callaway, 20-yard TD strike. Cannell 15-17, 147 yards, 2 touchdowns. Giants on top 14-10 in the third. Back to Pat and John.
Back at Mile High, 6.5 minutes left in the third quarter, 2nd and 7. Elway back by himself. Pass caught by Shannon Sharp. Ball bouncing around. Denver's ball.
The officials saying it was down there and it's Denver's ball. That formation has really been giving the Cowboys problems. That shotgun, 5 wide receivers, spread everyone out. It seems like John Elway can just stand back there and always find a guy open. Doesn't make any difference when when the knee is down or when the momentum is stopped. It's when the official blows the whistle.
The rookie Myers is number 94, who is in the Dallas defensive front now.
And that last pass was incomplete.
Yep. 3rd and 7. Elway chased by Artie Smith. Looking downfield. Pass is incomplete. Intended for Shannon Sharp. Almost complete. George Teague knocked it away.
Yeah, now the Cowboys are getting better in their coverage. They're getting guys around the receivers anyway, because that's one of the things that Elway likes to do is get back there and then run right or left, but not run to run with the ball, but run to throw the ball.
Deion Sanders back deep for Ruin's punt. I'm not sure what he's doing.
He's getting ready to catch a punt and run it all the way back for a touchdown.
He won't have a chance to catch this one.
Nope. Run it all the way back.
Bad kick. On the side of Ruin's foot. So the Cowboys take over. 5:55 left to go in the third. Still 20. 35-20. Denver leads. 5:55 left to play in the third quarter. Denver 35, Dallas 20. Dallas ball at their own 22-yard line. Jason Garrett has replaced Troy Aikman, who's out with a fractured clavicle. Out perhaps 4, maybe as much as 8 weeks. To Emmitt Smith. Emmitt found a little room, and Emmitt. Brown and Atwater make the stop, but good yardage for Emmitt Smith. 20-yard run.
And you see, he's just going to bring the ball out here. Moose Johnston gets the lead. He gets the block right there on Neil Smith. Get a good block in the outside on Ray Crockett, and then Emmitt Smith just runs right off the block on Ray Crockett.
Michael Irvin got that block on Crockett.
Well, that's the thing today. If you're going to have good runs by your running backs, your wide receivers have to make blocks, especially if you're using more than 2 of them.
2 tight ends, Irvin on the move. And Emmitt Smith gets the carry. This time he nudges up close to the 45, a pickup of maybe 2.
You know, one thing I'm surprised that the Cowboys don't come back with just letting Jason Garrett throw a deep one. Remember, he's tried that one time, and he let Michael Irvin just out jump, and I think that's a play that he's proven that he can throw. Jason Garrett is, and of course Michael Irvin has proven that he can catch it. So why not take a shot? You know, somewhere you have to.
Good spot for it. Irvin split wide to the left. There it is. Led him to the outside. He went to the inside.
Yeah, but I think they had to do that. I mean, I think you have to take some shots. You just can't throw those little dink passes, those little screen passes, and run the ball. Jason Garrett follows through so much he loses a shoe. But here he has pretty good protection. You see, he lost his shoe when he slipped there. He went to come to bring up the ball, and he just slipped.
3rd and 8.
That was good coverage by the Broncos anyway. I mean, there was nothing there. He didn't have a chance to get the ball.
They heard our commentary.
Right. Here's the 5 wide receivers again. Shotgun.
Better hurry. 1 second to go, and they got it called. And the pass is caught by Ernie Mills. Shy of a first down.
Yeah, good coverage there by Ray Crockett. This is going to be an interesting decision here for Chan Gailey. You know, with a score at 35-20, do you go for it on 4th down, or do you punt?
Well, the punting team started on the field, and somebody called them back.
That was a heck of a throw there by Jason Garrett, and now Jason Garrett's going over to the sideline. The Cowboys are going to take a timeout.
And they'll have 2 left.
Because they were a little unsure of themselves. You know, do we do this? I think with, you know, you're 15 points down, so you need really 3 scores or 2 scores and go for it on go for 2. I think it's early, but you do have the ball here at midfield. You haven't been able to stop him. I don't know. I would probably say, I mean, if I were doing it playing here in Denver, I would punt in this situation.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. But they're not going to.
Well, you know, they have had success with the run. I think if you had to rely on, you know, completing an 8 or 10-yard pass with Jason Garrett, I probably wouldn't do it. I think they're probably going to load up and, you know, with 2 tight ends and run the ball, although that's exactly what they are. Well, just 1 tight end.
And now the officials stop the clock. Denver called the timeout. And right now, for an NFL update, let's return to James Brown at the Fox Network Center in Los Angeles.
Jeff George having himself a nice game. Pat, take a look as he's backpedaling. Nice throw. Who does he find? Tim Brown, 22 yards to pay dirt. Oakland on top of the Giants midway through the 3rd by 3. Back to Pat Summerall and John Madden.
At Mile High Stadium in Denver, 4 minutes left in the 3rd. The Cowboys indicated they were going to go for it on 4th down. Here comes Jason Garrett back to the huddle, so that indication seems to be true.
Yeah, I thought they would go the 2 tight ends and bring in the extra blocker, Flozell Adams, and try and run the ball. The fact that they didn't do that, I would have to believe that they're not going to run the ball, that they're either going to go play pass or just regular pass.
Michael Irvin right, Billy Davis left. Irvin. And he's going to have the first down and more. And a flag on the play as he grabbed him by the face mask, I believe.
And Leon Letts over there to help out. I think when they went regular formation, you knew they were going to pass the ball, and I think Denver still played run on that thing. They just left Michael Irvin out there all alone, where Jason Garrett could hit him with the ball and get a first down.
Got him by the face mask.
5-yard face mask penalty. 39 defense. We'll add it on to the end of the run. First down.
Ray Crockett.
You see here, they only need a couple yards, and here's Michael Irvin out there. The ball is thrown short of the first down, so Michael Irvin knows, one, that he has to make a move, and then he has to get beyond that first down marker. He does both.
He stiff arms. Crockett got his hand in there and then got it back out. That's the reason it was only 5 yards. But it's a first down, Cowboys. Davis comes back in motion. Broken play as Jason Garrett apparently turned the wrong way. Still got a couple of yards.
And these are the things that we were talking about. It's hard for a quarterback to get any reps, because in today's football, the starting quarterback gets all the reps. And you'll see Jason Garrett, he turns out to this side. Emmitt Smith goes to the right side. But Jason Garrett, being a smart quarterback, he runs in the hole where the ball was supposed to go. Or he thought it was supposed to go.
And got 2 yards.
That was pretty good blocking.
2nd and 8. That was a pretty good hole there, wasn't it? Here's Emmitt Smith. And Emmitt swings around the corner and swings about a yard shy of the first down. Hit by Ray Crockett. Knocked out of bounds there. Stops the clock.
You know, Emmitt Smith is running to the outside more this year than he has in the past. And I think once you start running outside and getting to that sideline, I think the next thing he's going to do that's going to be good for him is get to the sideline. Instead of being knocked out of bounds, cut back. You got one more cutback right there. You know, and instead he ran up and had he cut it back, I think he would have had a softer spot.
We got a good block from Darrell Johnston.
Darrell Johnston usually gives some good blocks, doesn't he?
Emmitt again. First down, Cowboys as he crosses the 25.
And another good block by Darrell Johnston, because that was the thing that Chan Gailey was worried about. He was worried about Steve Atwater, and he figured if you're going to make yardage on the run, you got to get someone on number 27 of the Broncos, and that guy was Darrell Johnston on Atwater.
Clock running. Emmitt Smith. He'd run both sides and in the middle as well.
He's had the most success around the right, where he's gained 50 yards around the right side.
Sherman Williams is now the deep running back as Emmitt gets a rest. And here's Garrett. Pass caught by Davis. Davis to the 20. Wrapped up by Ray Crockett.
I think the thing that Chan Gailey was saying about Billy Davis last night is so true, that every other year he never had a job. He was always fighting for a job to be a special teams guy and a 4th or 5th wide receiver and just making a team. And said he never worked on the little subtleties of the position of wide receiver. And now that he's made the team and he's a starting wide receiver, he's starting to work on those things, and it's going to be better. There's no one out here covering him.
Now someone comes out. Emmitt. No place to go this time for Emmitt Smith. He still gets a couple of yards. Sherman Williams, I beg your pardon, it was not Emmitt Smith. Emmitt still resting. And Sherman ducked under a couple of tacklers and picked up 2.
That's the thing. You know, you see Troy Aikman there with his arm in a sling. You know, one thing, they say that he has a broken clavicle, and he does, but I will say this: they have these x-ray machines in every stadium now, but the x-ray machines aren't the best, and I think that's why they say 4 to 8 weeks, because they didn't get the clearest picture that they're going to get.
Shadowy, they said. Troy is optimistic. He thinks 4. It might be 8. Here's Garrett. Got a man open. Billy Davis. And they'll move the sticks again.
You see, Jason Garrett got some of that running going, and now he's starting to feel comfortable. And you can see that patience that he didn't have earlier that he's starting to have now. Billy Davis starts on the outside. comes in motion, just lets the thing clear, finds a hole in the zone, sits down, shows him your numbers, and Jason Garrett hits him.
And that's the end of the third quarter with the score Denver 35, Dallas 20. Fox NFL Sunday will continue after a word from your local Fox station.